Hey again, everyone. Thank you for joining us, for continuing to join us if you've been watching all evening. We are in day 6 programming, evening side, and this is another feature that we get to speak to filmmakers about their film. Before we go in, I'm your host tonight, Sidney, here at the 2017 Twin Cities Film Fest, hosted by the Shops at West End and this beautiful Showplace Icon Theater that we're all in. We're on our Florida Junk sponsored red carpet, and Lisa and Manny Rodriguez, thank you so much for being here. Butterfly Caught is the name of your feature film tonight, and wow, you're tackling some pretty compelling and serious subject matter, which gave your actors a ton to work with, and you're affecting audiences by the storytelling that you're putting on screen in a really timely part of what's going on. So thank you so much for being here. Talk to us about that. Talk to us about the subject matter.
Yeah, it's sure. It's a very compelling story about 3 aspiring actresses in Los Angeles, and basically the heartache and pain and the constant hearing of no, and whenever you're trying to strive for something. So yeah, we tackle some what it takes to be an actor in Hollywood. So
you wanted to take on what it's like to go through it in this particular career path, and you wanted to focus in on the female aspect of it, and also the psychological toll it can take, the sacrifices that are made, and kind of this other not so glamorous side of things. So talk to us about choosing that for your storyline.
Sure. Basically, when it's based on a true story of my wife and my sister and a friend of hers living together, trying to strive to break into the acting business, working in a bar together, and really what it took, and being a struggling writer as well. I fell into that mix of just constantly hearing the answer no, and what do you do when you do hear the word no, and the persistence and survival it takes to go past that. But I was really more interested in the realistic side of that, because we're so used to the entourage feel of the glamorous side of Hollywood, and Hollywood is basically the opposite of that if you've lived and strived to do anything in that town. So we're so used to seeing a lot of talented people getting gobbled up and spit out. So we really wanted to tell the real side, and if anything, and any message is grasped at the end of that, it's the survival and the persistence that the people that are willing to fight through that are the ones that actually make it.
So you're hoping that's a takeaway, and that's something that you want to be uncovered toward the end. Lisa, this is part of a backdrop of actual experience for you. So challenging, tough, does it help? Did it give you new perspective on it?
This is inspired by true events. It's not completely taken from real experience, but I think especially right now with everything that's going on in the news, with the scandal, Hollywood scandal, Harvey Weinstein, it hits home for I think a lot of actors and actresses, and there's some situations in the film that deal with that, and it's very real, very real, and so yeah.
Well, thank you for being transparent about that, because let's not ignore it. It's a huge elephant in the room. Right. And can you talk to us about your true reactions when this news broke, and then the trickle effect, thank goodness, that's happened from it? What did you two? You must have looked at each other, having this film being ready to release to audiences. Talk to us about that.
We were like, wow, it's actually coming out now.
Yeah.
This is like the perfect timing to talk about it. I think the film, it's very relevant right now. Yep. And yeah, I mean, it's something we've always known that goes on because we've lived it. So
I'm glad you said that, because it's not just relevant now, it has been relevant.
Going on for a very long time.
Yep.
I mean, when he first started writing the script, what was it, 2001? And the experience that I had in Hollywood that actually made me want to leave Hollywood and not be an actor anymore was kind of what inspired that storyline. Yep. So yeah, the timing is just, it's actually amazing, you know. I don't want to say it's lucky for us because it's not. It's actually very sad, but it's actually a really good thing to be able to talk about it now.
Time.
And this is going to continue to shine light.
Yeah, and I think people will watch the movie and just, they'll get it and you know, relate to it, and I think a lot of people are watching it, are feeling that way, so, and even for me watching it, you know, you feel it, so.
So you've traveled a long distance to be here at the Twin Cities Film Fest with your feature film. You two don't continue to think of yourselves as, you said, struggling actor. Your writer, your words. You don't consider yourselves struggling filmmakers anymore, do you? You have a feature film that's going to be playing to a huge audience tonight at a film festival that you're getting a round of applause right now. You don't consider yourself that anymore, do you?
We do.
No.
We're actually super honored and pleased to be here, and you guys have welcomed us with open arms, and it's been fantastic. But you know, until you're doing this full time, and until you're, you know, can keep a house over your head and over your kid's head and feed everybody, you are struggling because it's such a temporary business. Because you might be doing well and fine for 3 or 4 months out of the year, but you're constantly looking for that next job until you hit your sweet spot and you've hit a point to where you've impressed people enough to where it's a career. So this is just step one of what we want to achieve. But we're so happy to be here, and we thank you all for your hospitality. It's been great.
It's such an honor.
That's so great to hear. So you talk about this in the present tense. You're going to keep doing it. What do you love about it? What drives you to keep doing it? What's the thing that pushes you? Because it is tough.
Quite honestly, it's the feeling you get when people are watching your film in the back of the theater, and are they laughing at the jokes, and is it working? Is the pacing working? But the other part of it is the troubleshooting aspect. You know, it's if you want to be a filmmaker and you desire to be a filmmaker and you think that everything's going to go smooth, maybe this isn't the right business for you. But if you go into it knowing that today's going to be super interesting and I'm going to have to tackle 10 different obstacles to achieve my day and to get my pages, and you do that, it's so satisfying to, at the end of the day, to say, hey, maybe it wasn't 100% of my vision, but we did it. So it's a very gratifying feeling to get through it, and then when you get to the editing room, it's the same thing. You're like, it's never 100% of what your vision was. It turns out to be 60, 70%, and then you try to squeeze out more to try to get it back up closer to that 100 again, because it's a beast. You never get what you actually are set out to get, so it's fun trying to keep that vision.
Lisa, what do you love about it?
I think I love the most that you start off with this idea and you're inspired to do this and tell this story, and then you start with nothing, and you got to put it all together somehow. And the process is long and it's arduous, and you just keep going, and then at the end you get to sit in the theater with all these people watching it on this big screen. I mean, it's an amazing feeling, and I think this has just been incredible. It's
awesome.
True,
So before we let you get in there and enjoy your film tonight, when you look back to the whole process of putting this together, what's your biggest takeaway? What was your favorite? Was it being in production, working with your actors? Was it putting the story together? Because you two you're a filmmaking partnership in addition to being a life partnership, which is super cool. What stands out as I put you on the spot tonight?
Part of it is just achieving a goal, right? You set off to do something, and I think the human brain is, we're all inherently lazy in a way, and you tell yourself no, or you can't do things 1,000 times, and it's flicking that demon off your shoulder and actually achieving that goal. But the other thing is these great relationships that you get. You build lifelong relationships with the people that you go through quote unquote war with, which is a film. And if you come out and you've made something entertaining, and it's hard to see that when you're working 12-hour days every 6 days a week in order to achieve a film. We're human. We want to pull each other's hair out by day 5, but we fight through it, and we try to keep making a point of making a good film. And when you come to the finish line and you trust the process, it's very gratifying to stand here with these talented people, and the people that actually brought the script pages to life, and the people that put their sweat and tears and very little money, and believed in us. So it's being able to take that to your deathbed and being very honored to work with some great people.
Lisa.
Oh boy, it's I think different when you're a producer because I was the one on set that was handling all the crazy stuff that's going on, trying to keep it away from him while he's creating this film. But so I did love production, but it was also very stressful. But I mean, when it comes down to it, I think this time is the best when we finally get to show it to the world, and I mean, it's just like amazing.
Is this the premiere? Has it?
This is our Midwest premiere.
Great. Okay, awesome. So what have been reactions from audiences?
Well, we were very honored to world premiere at the San Diego International Film Festival, where we won Best Ensemble Film at the festival. And this, we won the Chris Springer Awards for Best Film.
Congratulations.
So and then we went on to Laughlin International Film Festival last weekend and won Best Narrative Feature. So we're actually doing
Where and after Twin Cities, where's your next stop?
Well, we're waiting to find out now.
Oh,
so
okay.
we had a lot this month, and yeah. We also won another award too, which was an online awards that they did. So
wear them proudly. You're not struggling. You're achieving. You're succeeding. This is so great.